on where the status is of those programs. Maybe I just aren't looking in the right place. With regards to the grant situation is what it is. But I'd like to see council commit to chipping away at what can be implemented without grant funding, e.g. through volunteer stewardship programs. That's recreational walking path strategy item or action item 1.2. Having said that, I am disappointed with, from my perspective, the dismissive attitude by some to the approximately 30 years of service to the community by the Mount Gibraltar Bush Care and Land Care Group, and a lack of empathy for the damage of their approved works done by others through their unapproved works. I do, however, remain a strong supporter of council and the community partnering through various volunteering mechanisms to develop and implement programs for the betterment of our community. And I think the volunteering programs could be expanded through council and we could have more volunteering opportunities across a wide range of different programs that council has. So thank you.
I'll ask the appropriate officer to respond to what you've said when the matter comes before the council. If you're still not here, you'll be able to replay it later because it's on the website. Two things. I would hate to think that any action on the part of the council devalued in any way the great work that the volunteers do at Mount Gibraltar. That is certainly not the intent. Secondly, you're onto something about line items and how much money is spent. When I arrived here, the council just had bulk amounts. How they made informed decisions of what they received, I don't know. That was my second budget. I asked for to be done by directorate because, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. This budget has it to level 3, and you might have noted, or you may not have noted, that when the draft budget was considered by the council, I asked that it go down to now level 4 for the first review in 2024. That way, there will be how much has been spent to the 31st of December against budget by line item, and that will make coordinators far more responsible for the work that they do, rather than just having the CFO allocate money. Now, I have no doubt previously that there were line items, but they weren't public, and they should be public. The very reasons why you're saying, I agree with you totally. I have difficulty. I had to ask today how much the book vote is. I couldn't find it. But those line items will go down to level 3. There'll be a lot more public accountability. I'm confident there is internal accountabilities, but the council works for its community, and the community must know what the accountabilities are. So you're onto something. I agree with you, from the we'll see what the officers say what's provided, but it's not public at the moment, and it should be.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, ta. Mr. Street, again on the budget, wishes to talk about the Mittagong Memorial Hall Management Committee.
Thank you, Mr. May, General Manager, Council Officers. I wish to deal with item 7.1, which is proposing to adopt the resourcing strategy 23 to 33, the delivery program 23 to 25, and the operation plan and budget 23 to 24, including the budget review policy, fees and charges. In relation to the Mittagong Memorial Hall, the General Manager was kind enough at the last meeting to inform us that there will be upcoming grant applications that will be made based on the basis of a 50% contribution by the federal government, 25% by the state government and 25% by the Wingecarribee Council. That equates to the $2 million that we refer to as missing. What I am concerned about with the adoption of those various strategies and so forth is that there is no mention of that $2 million funding from the Wingecarribee toward the repair and reinstatement of the Mittagong Memorial Hall. And I would hate to think that our newly minted grants officer, who's going to be going through writing grants, has to do it based on the current status, which says funding cost, total cost 7.5 million, funding sought 7.5 million. That apparently is not the case and would need to be corrected. So what I would ask you to do today is to go through and amend Officer's recommendation number 2 to include that oversight so that that amount appears and is able to be used in grant applications. I'm not talking about when it's spent, I'm talking about being a grants officer being able to go through and say, this is the way those numbers will be divided up, either in an expression of interest or in the application itself. That was really the reason for my wanting to come today. The fact that it's a wet day, and I would ask us all to spare a thought for the internals of the Mittagong Memorial Hall, which was supposed to have the roof replaced in 2019. That hasn't happened. It's still there. It is leaking. We may or may not succeed in the grant and funding applications that are going forward, but this building for 4 years has had rain coming in onto the internals, the inside of it. It's not going to survive forever. Thank you very much for your time.
Just before you leave, just for the benefit of the staff, can I confirm that we have not spoken in the last week?
Yes, that's correct.
I'm addressing what you're talking about tonight. I think it's important to understand that we have a myriad of legacy issues. You said 2019. Nothing much has happened except those ugly support beams in the car park. So I'm addressing what you're talking about later on tonight.
Thank you very much.
That finishes the public forum. We have to wait until 4:30 to start the meeting because that's the time that it's notified as.